morning, Sunset Country.
Good morning.
Welcome back. We are here for our 9th episode, which is super fun and exciting, and we're going to be taking a little break for the summer.
We are.
Back in September.
Yeah.
But today, very exciting, we're going to recap the first 8 episodes.
And we're going to have MP Bob Nolt on the couch right here.
Fantastic.
Yes, and the Reddit Bottle House.
The Reddit Bottle House. Have you been?
I've been.
Excellent. I've never been. I can't believe I've never had. And I have some friends from Reddit, and I keep saying I want to go to Reddit and see the Bottle House, but today we get to see it.
You have some friends from Reddit.
I do have friends from Reddit.
Impressed.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to see it on the show because Kim and Jeff went there. Throughout the region, we got some stuff happening. Since this is the last show till September, we'll remind everybody, the Sioux Lookout, the big Blueberry Festival, is coming up. That is the 29th of July till the 7th of August. All kinds of stuff. Photo contests, bake-offs, volleyball tournament, pancake breakfast, all kinds of stuff going on there.
It's festival season, and coming up is the Trout Forest Music Festival, and this is August 11th to the 13th.
All right.
And this is happening in Ear Falls, and they've got an incredible lineup of music, and of course it's on the waterfront, so a beautiful, beautiful festival.
Yes, it will.
I'll be taking pictures.
Yes, and if you're not doing anything the 18th to the 20th of August, go to Nestor Falls. They've got going on there the Moose and Fiddle Music Festival. So go down, it's at Caliper Lake in Nestor Falls, so go down and visit that.
So the Reddit Bottle House.
The Reddit Bottle House.
This is 25 minutes north of Kenora.
It's awesome.
And Kim and Jeff went there to visit it, so it needs a little bit of TLC.
It needs some TLC.
Yes, but here we go.
Reddit is the home of the Bottle House, and we're here today with Kim Korobanic, who is the great-granddaughter of the creators of this little house, and she's going to tell us the history. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. So the Reddit Bottle House was built in 1973 by Hank and Myrtle Deverell. And the reason they built the bottle house was because Myrtle wanted somewhere to house her extensive doll collection. So they began collecting bottles from residents in the community, particularly from the Reddit Legion. And the bottle house was built in 1973 with over 7,000 bottles, 1,000 pounds of mortar, and 756 hours of labor.
756 hours of labor. How do you know that? Did your grandpa keep a diary of all the time he spent working on it?
Roughly, yes. Roughly. So in its first year alone, we had over 1,500 visitors from June 1973 to June 74, and encouraged by the popularity of the visitors, they built the Wishing Well in 1974, the Windmill in 75, the Home of the Three Bears in 1976, and the Castle of the Elves in 1979.
There is quite an array of little houses up here, so you should take a trip up to Reddit and have a look. How far has the visitors come to see the house? Are they from all over Canada and the U.S.?
We've had from all over the world. Particularly, we've had people come from Australia, Zimbabwe. I had people here from Mumbai, India 2 weeks ago. We've had people from Germany, just all over the world.
So if you're out on a Sunday afternoon and looking for something to do, take a ride to Reddit and have a look at Hank and Myrtle's beautiful creations.
While we were in Reddit, Kim Korobanic took Kim and I to see the Reddit Museum, housed in a former CN rail caboose car. The museum is located across the street from the Bottle House and is full of memorabilia illustrating the history of the town of Reddit, including King George VI and Queen Elizabeth's stop here while on tour of Canada in 1939. There's a highway sign bearing the old Ontario highway designation of Highway 666, which was changed in 1985 to Highway 658. There had been numerous thefts of the signage and a petition by a church on the route. 666 is referred to in the Bible as the number of the devil. Much of the original caboose equipment is still in place as well: the lookout stations, the cook stove, writing desk, and dining table. Rail cabooses were phased out in the 1980s due to technology that did not require their use as safety watch stations on freight trains any longer. In Reddit, I'm Jeff Strachan, CJBN TV.
Super cool. I have to go for sure now.
Well, you have to go. You got to get your picture. Your picture beside the Reddit Bottle House.
I do. I want to take my
We'll go up there. That'll be it. We'll get a picture beside the Reddit Bottle.
You should build one in your yard.
Oh, my grandkids would love that. I've had them for 2 weeks.
You heard it here first, grandkids.
There you go. We're going to build a bottle house. When we come back from break, we're going to recap over the first 8 episodes.
Very exciting. Some of our favorite moments.
That's right. Some of yours, too.
Stick around. So before we go to the recap of the last 8 episodes, first we are going to go to Dryden, and there is a resident there who has taken into her own hands a weekly community event called Dryden Days of Summer. Tommy Johnson has this story for you now.
Hi, welcome. We're back this summer for our 4th Dryden Days of Summer down on King Street in Dryden, Ontario. This is an event that is a non-funded, non-profit event. Anybody is welcome to come and participate on Thursdays. Dryden was kind of on a downward spiral there 4 years ago, and a lot of people were having negative thoughts about their town, and I just thought it's time to do something positive for Dryden rather than always thinking about what we don't have anymore. Let's talk about what we do have in this town. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Check our Facebook page. If you want to advertise what you're doing, just post it on our Facebook page. It's Dryden Days of Summer. This is a really simple event where there's no complication here. Anyone that would like to participate, just come on down, bring your own tent, table, chairs. It's a great place to bring relatives, family, friends. My daughter's traveled all over the world. She said everywhere she's gone there's a square, and in that square there's at least one day a week, whether they have a market or a street fair, and she said this is what Dryden needs, and this is what we have now. We have our market, we have our little corner downtown where we meet once a week during the summer days.
So much, Tommy, for your story about Dryden Days of Summer.
That's right. 8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Done.
Amazing.
It is.
What was your funnest moment?
Well, it's got to be pickleball.
Pickleball.
That was a lot of fun. Getting out of the studio, getting out there on the court, that was fun.
Excellent. Well, here is a recap you've all been waiting for of the first 8 episodes of Good Morning Sunset Country. Stick around.
As Deb and Dave said, this is our 9th Good Morning Sunset Country, and we will take a summer break and be back for the fall. Our hosts had a great time bringing Sunset Country stories and people of interest to your screen. The most fun was had when Deb and Dave met with Jim Mowry of the Pickleball Club in Kenora to learn about and participate in the sport. They celebrated the thrill of victory and suffered the disappointment of defeat. We covered a lot of ground with in-studio guests. On our first show, Kenora Mayor Dave Canfield joined us, as did artist Melissa Jean, who brought a few of her paintings to the studio. On that same episode, Shelley headed out to the Kenora Lake Run to interview those participating, and Kim Morrison spoke with representatives of the Northwestern Health Unit for the first of a couple of stories we did on the Needle Exchange program. In subsequent episodes, we spoke with the people who work and volunteer their time to make this area a safe and enjoyable place to live. For episode 6, Cabela's pro staff Jay Samsel was in to promote National Fishing Week, and we gave 3 deserving young guys brand new fishing rods, which were donated by Canadian National Sport Fishing Foundation. Shelley, Matt, Tommy, Jeff, and I also have been out and around Northwestern Ontario covering events and people. Some of were a serious nature, such as the Sexual Assault Centre or the Salvation Army, while others were focused on the arts. In Dryden, the dancers of Seguin's Finest spoke to Tommy Johnson, and Shelley stopped into a recital at Kenora Dance Works Studio. In addition, we informed you about happenings in the area such as the Relay for Life, the Farmers Market, Coney Island Music Fest, Kenora Harbour Fest, and most recently the Agricultural Fair and the Fort Frances Canadian Bass Championship. There was a story about a spay and neuter program for dogs. Kim walked about with Chris Madison of It's a Dog's Life, and not to neglect man's other most common companion, she also stopped by the Kenora Cat Shelter. Shelley and Matt brought you stories from both Beaver Brae Secondary School and St. Thomas Aquinas. The crew all look forward to Good Morning Sunset Country's return on September 30th. Still at 8:30, still Friday mornings.
Just because it was so exciting, we're going to play the recap again.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
No, that's true.
Coming up next, we have Bob Nault in the studio to talk to us what's going on federally in the region.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Sunset Country. And today, Deb and I have MP Bob Nault on the couch, the hot seat today.
The hot seat.
And we're going to talk about some issues in the communities.
So very exciting. Back in April, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau visited Shoal Lake 40 First Nation. And you were there yesterday, you were saying earlier this morning. So let's talk a little bit about everything going on there.
Well, Shoal Lake 40, as you know, is a community that's been isolated for a generation, simply because of the water intake that runs from Shoal Lake to Winnipeg. So the commitment made by the Government of Canada, by the City of Winnipeg, and the Government of Manitoba was to deal with that isolation by building what people are referring to as Freedom Road. So that is in its final stages of development. So I'm told yesterday by the Chief and Council that 99% of the engineering is completed. So that means within the matter of days you'll start to hear about the planning process, and the objective is to start the road in January at the very earliest, but we hope that that's the case, and then we'll start with completing the road. Part of the discussion yesterday was a little more forthcoming than that, in the sense that there's not just the road, there's also the other pieces of the community development. And so we were talking and working on a process and a strategy around how to move on water treatment plants, sewer and water itself, the whole development of the community, a community plan for the future, subdivisions, those kinds of things. So Freedom Road is just the beginning of a larger development and improvement of that community.
Absolutely, and what a beautiful name, because this community deserves something after this long, waiting this long.
Yes, I think it's pretty clear that this has been a process that's been ongoing for years. It's fair to say that over the years we've tried to develop a strategy around building a bridge between Shoal Lake 40 and Shoal Lake 39. That didn't happen. That policy, we couldn't get the politics right. So this is the best alternative, we believe, is building the road on the Manitoba side. And so everybody's pretty excited about getting on with the job.
No kidding. Well, in this, the whole water, everything, you were saying earlier that you manage, you know, a third of Ontario's land mass, but of course it's predominantly water. There are some exciting things going on at the experimental lakes too.
Well, experimental lakes, as you know, was also another commitment by the Prime Minister and the government during the campaign. So we are going to be participating again as a federal government in the experimental lakes, and that announcement should come within the next 2 weeks. And we're hoping to have a good opportunity to host all the different players, whether it's the province of Ontario, the province of Manitoba, the people who have been actively involved in keeping experimental lakes going. And we're very proud of experimental lakes internationally and locally, and so that's a big part of our water quality discussion. As well, we've been working with the IJC, the International Joint Commission, on water quality in the watershed. And so what we're going to do with that is basically allow the scientists to do a number of studies over the next 4 years, and so there'll be a big announcement of, and I've been telling everyone, it's about $5.5 million over 4 years.
Amazing.
To do studies on the Lake of the Woods watershed with Environment Canada, with the IJC, with our partners in Minnesota, with First Nation governments, all the governments, to say that that will help us dramatically to find out how to protect our water quality, not just on Lake of the Woods watershed, but in combination using that science, other watersheds throughout Canada and in the district.
Well, what has really gained attention around here? Is it the amount of water that we have here and the climate change issues that we're noticing in the region?
Well, I would say climate change probably is the most pronounced of the discussion, because people are aware that you're seeing animal life, you're seeing plant life, you're seeing different things happen here. You're seeing milder winters. Those of us who grew up here will know that it's a lot warmer than it used to be. And so you're starting to see the changes. And so because we're right in a particular unique part of Canada, where the shield ends and starts, where the forestry, it goes from deciduous to coniferous, all that shows us the differences in water quality and the climate change. And so this is a great place to do those kinds of studies and find out just what's going on around North America.
Yeah, well, and it's so important to protect the pristine environment around here, the lakes and the waters. Yeah. Talking about remote communities and the vastness of our region, healthcare has been a large issue for a number of communities in the region. So I know that's something that you feel very strongly about. Well,
healthcare, if you look at healthcare that Northerners have, it's safe to say that we are we need a lot of work,
yes.
if I can be polite. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do. So my view of healthcare is that we got to find a way to allow Kenora folks and surrounding area to go to Winnipeg. So we need to deal with Manitoba. We need the Minister of Health provincially and federally to work together on a joint agreement with First Nations and the Lake of the Woods District Hospital here, with the idea of making sure that our health care improves. And then we are going to make huge announcements, I think, in the next budget, because the next budget looks like it'll be a healthcare budget. It'll also be a budget dealing with areas like innovation. So keeping all this in mind, maybe we'll talk about this at another date, but healthcare is going to be front and center of changing the healthcare system. One example of that is home care. Yep. We've said during the campaign that home care is going to be an important part of it. So
absolutely,
we want to change the healthcare system, and so we're going to be talking a lot about those improvements. And I think we've got quite a ways to go to have the same quality healthcare as other parts of the country, but more importantly, in Ontario here, we expect to have good healthcare, whether you're a northerner or whether you're a southerner.
Good.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us today, Bob. It was a pleasure having you in the studio.
I'm sure we'll see you again.
You will, for sure. Thank you.
When we come back, we will be talking about our very own Jay Samsel, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, and his partner, Troy Norman.
That's right.
And they were the winners of the Fort Frances Canadian Bass Tournament. Stick around.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You can't say Northwestern Ontario without saying bass tournaments.
Bass tournaments.
You have to say. Fishing. And the Shaw TV crew was down in Fort Frances this weekend for the Fort Frances Bass Championship for 2016. And
the most exciting news coming out of this tournament is that our very own Jay Samsel and his partner Troy Norman took home the win.
Jay sat on this couch. He took my advice, obviously.
It's true. If you guys have the opportunity to go to Jay's little fishing tournament in the winter, get your youngins started early. This guy knows what he's doing. It's also his second major win this season.
Yes.
He, of course, won the Dryden Walleye Masters. That's right.
And another one coming up, we know.
Hat trick. Come
KBI.
on, Jay.
KBI.
You can do this.
August 4th, 5th, 6th. Go, Jay.
He's our man.
Yep. Hat trick.
First of all, we have this interview about their big win coming out of Fort Frances.
The 2016 Fort Frances Canadian Bass Champions, Troy Norman, Jay Samsel. Guys, how does this feel, first of all?
What you just said, I've been waiting a long time to hear that, man. We're kind of speechless right now. You know, we've put our time in on Rainy Lake. We really have, and we've been close. We've been really close. It's so hard to win these 3-day events, and when it all comes together, it's what we've been dreaming about. Thursday at around 1 o'clock, I never expected to be in this position. We had about 15 pounds, and we made an adjustment. And you know, we caught a few good fish. Went out the next day, kind of stuck with the same thing we were doing, and at 11 o'clock we had one good fish and 4 other ones for about 10 pounds. Made an adjustment, came in with 18 pounds. Today, I don't know, Troy, what do you think? Everything just went well today.
How does it feel as a hometown boy to win this tournament?
I don't think you have to be a hometown boy to love winning this thing. This crowd is awesome. You know, from the volunteers, the MC, Paul Morrison, the crowd here in Fort, this is the best atmosphere to come in with a big bag of smallmouth in North America, I think.
And I hear you were a winner in Dryden as well this year. What's working for you this year?
I don't know, man. Like I said, we put a lot of time and effort in on this, and you can't say anything. it's time. That's all it is. We've done it a long time now. We're only 30 years old, but we've been fishing tournaments since we were 16.
We had this same thing about 5 years ago. We were in first after day 2. You got everybody, all these big dogs are on your heels. You can't stumble because they're going. They're catching them, and they're just waiting for you to mess up. So there's a lot of pressure to make it happen today. And last time we didn't, but today we did.
All right, thank you so much, guys. The 2016 Fort Frances Canadian Bass Champs right here.
Well, that looked like an awesome event. Congratulations, Jay, from us to you.
So proud. Hometown boy.
Good boy.
And Troy.
Yeah, and Troy. Yes,
too.
that's true.
Yeah.
We've got some other fishing events coming up. August 4th, 5th, and 6th, of course, KBI in Kenora.
Kenora Bass International.
Yes, KBIfishing.com. KBIfishing.com. They may still be looking for some volunteers. And we also have Bassin' for Bucks. Bassin' for Bucks is September 9th to the 11th. That's in Sioux Narrows. Maybe Jay will go down there? I don't know.
Maybe Jay will just take a big swoop. Take all the tourneys.
All the bass.
He needs a t-shirt. All the tourneys.
Oh, he needs that. We can tell him he started on our show, sitting between us.
We should make that point.
Yeah, he should put our name on his boat.
Yeah. You are nothing without us.
I'll talk to him about that. Yeah.
Jay is amazing.
Yes.
So congratulations, Jay and Troy.
It's fantastic.
Are you going to do any fishing this summer?
I do some fishing, but probably don't do as well as Jay does.
No.
No.
I am going to be doing some fishing this summer. I haven't yet.
You've got to do it.
It's halfway through summer. I know. It goes by way too fast.
But Jay told us to use leeches. I don't use leeches.
I have used minnows. Yes. I don't know if I could do leeches.
I don't.
No.
I can't. I won't.
I want to mention, we have had, of course, a lot on our show about the Kenora Emergency Shelter.
Yes,
and they are doing a fundraising concert close to the end of summer. Saturday, August 27th, they will be having under the Whitecap Pavilion, Prairie Joe, which is a music group out of Oak Lake, Manitoba.
Yes.
Admission is through donation, so you don't have to have much. No. You just have to come, give a little donation, enjoy a music event. It's 6 to 9 under the tent. So show your support. Let's
help
make
the group
this
out.
happen.
Get them some coins so they can take care of some of the stuff they're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Kenora would step up. They always do.
So final show, Dave.
Final show. You know what would be neat? We've got a little break here. If when we come back, people would send some pictures of the favorite thing they did in the month of August.
Absolutely.
The favorite thing.
Like a fantastic idea.
Favorite thing you did. Just one picture.
Yeah. Sounds good. You can, of course, always track us down on Facebook. Good Morning Sunset Country.
That's right. You can get us email goodmorningsunsetcountry@shaw.ca.
Well, I just want to say I was expecting it to be a little bit more emotional, Dave. I'm not going to see you for a whole month.
How are you going to make it?
How are you going to make it? I don't know. I'll find some ways.
I'll send you a
take
picture
lots of pictures of all the stuff I'm doing in the meantime.
There you go. That'll be great.
Excellent. Yes. Well, thank you for joining us for our first 9 episodes, and we look very much forward to seeing you in September.
Come on back. If you got any ideas, send them to us.
Absolutely. Enjoy your summer, Northwestern Ontario.
Enjoy it. Stay safe.
We'll see you in the fall.